All right, so this is really janky at the moment. Hopefully, this. I'll explain what happened. I forgot my computer at my house before I came to the church. Pastor loaned me his laptop. For some reason, it wasn't uploading the video or to do the live stream. So at this point, I think I'm probably about 15 minutes behind the whatever, and hopefully I can quickly make this video, upload it, and it'll be there around 12:30 or so. My apologies that it didn't go well, and I don't even know if this video is going to get uploaded because my phone's stupid and old, and for some reason wouldn't even live stream on YouTube. So I'm not techie enough to figure that out in a matter of minutes. So hopefully this works, and if not, then I'll try to get something else going. Because we're very limited on what we can do in interaction because this is just an uploaded video, I'll just get right to the point. This last week, I just wanted to quickly review. This last week, we talked about running the race. It's a marathon, not a sprint. We got to set a pace. We got to figure this out because another couple of weeks, maybe even longer. We don't know yet how long you're going to be out of school, and this is our new normal. Another thing that we need to do, we talked about, was obeying our parents and being respectful of them and honoring them, and obviously getting along with our siblings. And then yesterday, Brian came in and just kind of encouraged us not to waste our time, and that was from Ephesians 5 as well. We talked about not wasting our time, that eventually we run out of time. We're going to get through this, and we might look back and go, man, I wish I really hadn't binge watched every show on Netflix. I wish I would have done something more creative and more important with my time. So anyways, with that, today is the fasting day, and I wanted to talk about that, answering the two questions, why do we fast? I know we talked about this last Friday, but I want to go in more depth on it. Why do we fast, and what is fasting? So the what is fasting obviously can be just about anything that you just say, hey, I'm done with this thing. I'm not going to do it for a period of time. And for me and for us, me and Brian right now, it's food. It's not eating today. It's drinking water only, and saying, and a lot of times fasting is actually food, because food is a source of life, and we're saying whatever we're dealing with is more important than even life. It's like whatever it is, it's more important than food that sustains us. We need to go to God, who actually sustains us, not just physically, but spiritually, emotionally, and every way. And then also that the thing that we're dealing with is more important than eating. That's sort of what we're saying right now. And obviously the situation that we find ourselves in with the coronavirus and everything is more important than our daily food. I mean, it really is, and we need to be seeking God. So what is fasting is right now not eating and praying. Obviously we made that joke. Fasting without prayer is just dieting. And so we are praying today as well. It's not just It's not just not eating. It's also including prayer. Sorry, I had a brain moment there or something. And so why do we fast? And I do want to quickly read from the Bible in Nehemiah chapter 1, the first four verses of Nehemiah. So bear with me here. I got my trusty old Bible here. Verse 1 says, the words of Nehemiah, son of Hakaliah, the month of Kislev, in the 20th year, while I was in the citadel of Susa, Hanani, one of my brothers, came from Judah with some other men, and I questioned them about the Jewish remnant and survived the exile, and also about Jerusalem. They said to me, those who survived the exile and are back in the province are in great trouble and disgrace. The wall of Jerusalem is broken down, and its gates have been burned with fire. When I heard these things, I sat down and wept. For some days I mourned and fasted and prayed before the God of heaven. And then we read some of his prayer. But basically, verse 4 there says that Nehemiah then wept and fasted and prayed. And the thing that is key is there's a level of communication with God. Prayer is the first level. That whenever we struggle with something, whenever we need something, we go to God in prayer. But then there's another level of basically getting God's attention, and that is through fasting and saying, God, I desperately need you now. I don't need you tomorrow. I do, but I need you. This problem, this situation I find myself in is so big. I need you right now. And that's where Nehemiah was in. He had heard about Jerusalem. The city of Jerusalem was in disarray. The walls were burned or destroyed or whatever. And he was upset about that. He was very sad about that. And he had no real course of action other than to turn to God and say, God, I need you. The whole nation of Israel needs you now more than ever. And so he fasted over that, and he prayed about that. And it was a moment of real seriousness for him. This wasn't a joke. This wasn't for fun. This was for a real need that Nehemiah had in his life. And the interesting thing, that he fasted and he prayed, and we get a little insight into that prayer if you keep reading through chapter 1. But you see how God works after that fast and prayer. After Nehemiah came before God, humbled himself, stopped eating, and only prayed and was seeking God's face in that situation. The rest of the book of Nehemiah is a demonstration of how God works to respond to Nehemiah's prayer and fast in chapter 1. How Nehemiah is given the resources by the king, how Nehemiah then goes himself and oversees the rebuilding, and how fast it takes. And there's problems along the way, but God provides every step of the way for Nehemiah to rebuild the walls and kind of the city of Jerusalem, to respond to chapter 1's fasting and prayer. And so today I want to encourage you, that even if you're not fasting and praying today, because there's nothing special per se about Friday to do it, I do encourage you to seek God, to ask him for help, to go to him and in a sense beg him for his attention. And then when you have it, to share with him your problems, your pain, whatever it is that you're going through. And right now as a country, it's this pandemic. For you personally, it might look like the fact that you want to go back to school, the fact that you don't want to miss out on certain activities. If you're a senior, you don't want to miss out on graduation. You don't want to miss out on those last days of school with your friends. And on and on and on the list can go. But most importantly, take it to God in prayer. That's what fasting is all about. It's just for you, and for you to say to God, I really need you now. Please, God, pay attention to what's going on. Please, God, answer me. And then wait for his answer. Next Monday, we're going to talk about what that kind of looks like when God answers us. My friend Jonathan gave me a great idea. So all of next week, we're going to look at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, at least starting on a Monday, and how God responds, how we respond in obedience to God, no matter what. So hopefully this video loads up. I'll be praying for you guys. I can't wait to see you back here on Monday, noon. Hopefully I'll have my computer, and hopefully it all works out. But this has been a very short video. Hopefully it's been helpful. And once again, I love these times. I obviously wish that I could be with you, but this gives me at least a little bit of a sense of connection back to you guys. So hopefully you're okay with these videos, and yeah, I'll see you on Monday.